and Paul Skeens. It's a good-looking pitching matchup tonight at Busch Stadium.
So
can't wait for that.
The Cardinals are facing Paul Skeens.
Yeah, which means they're going to win.
That means we're going to win.
So yesterday when I said, Amy, that I was giving myself until 6 p.m. Monday, so yesterday, to be upset about the Blues, and I was going to move on. I'm still kind of a little ticked.
I'm upset. It feels like a bad dream.
It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's really fresh the day after because it happens. You pretty much go to bed.
You're still
not
bleeding.
Too long after. Then you wake up the next day and you go, what the hell? What was all of that? And then you think, I'll just give myself a little bit of time. I'll be okay by later in the day. I'm not. Well, I mean, I'm a little better, but it's still kind of crappy.
I think it's okay that you're depressed. I'm depressed. It feels like a bad dream. Hucky Amy is back. I had nothing but NHL games on at my apartment. I had the TV going, all evening long. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Stacking playoff games. Didn't watch any. I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch any games yesterday. And it's okay that you feel depressed, Ranj, because right now, honestly, it might be maybe in an hour or so, it's locker clean out day. At Enterprise.
No.
And that's a bad day. I hate that day.
Yeah, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they give them a day, right? To just kind of
But then they have to talk to the media while they're packing up, and everyone's like throwing stuff into bags, and that you're not going to see the equipment again until next season.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me, why did you shoot the puck down the ice and try to score from a million feet away? Why not skate a little bit with it? Just move out of the zone.
I think it was Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic who, right after the game, asked Coach Jim Montgomery about their 6-on-5 play. He said, I'm not going to talk about 6-on-5 play right now. He just shut down that question.
He's got to talk about it sometime.
I know.
I mean, it's clearly a problem if they were the worst in the league at doing it. And
13 goals at 6-on-5.
It's really not that easy to score 6-on-5.
Well, you know what?
Because
when you're the team that pulls the goalie, I agree. It feels impossible.
Because it's just too packed. There's too many
people
on the ice. Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like an advantage. But when the other team pulls the goalie, the Blues just can't figure it out. Braden Shen also had a moment where he was along the boards and he backhanded the puck blindly behind him. And you can't backhand. You can't get the same amount of oomph and power. And especially when you can't see what's behind you, you're generally the coach's rule is you eat up time. Give your teammates time to come back so you can see where they are, but don't blindly backhand the puck up the boards.
Make the official come over and blow the whistle because you're holding on to the puck.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do in that moment is kill time.
And
That's the only
all
thing
they
that
had
matters.
to do was kill one more second.
Yes. Dude.
It hurts.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought I'd be a little bit better today.
I know you would be better. You would be better if they got blown out.
Oh, yeah. You
if they
can't
had
lose
lost
like that.
6-1,
yes,
I don't think you're upset today.
Even if they lose 4-2 and it was they gave up 3 goals in the second period or something, and then Winnipeg added one in the third. Like if it was a normal loss, I could deal with it. But I'm not like you. I guess, did you say you were not able to watch hockey last night?
I was not able to watch hockey.
I'm the same way.
Night.
Whenever my team loses in the playoffs,
and there were teams I wanted to watch, by the way. It was Craig Berube's Toronto Maple Leafs versus Matthew Tkachuk and Paul Maurice's Florida Panthers. Yeah. Those are the teams I'm most invested in after the Blues. I couldn't watch it.
I'm the same way when it comes to the sport. As soon as my team is eliminated and I feel heartbreak over it, I can't.
You won't go back?
Watch it. I will. No,
because it's another 2 months. It'll be another 2 months of hockey.
Yeah, it'll take me several weeks before I feel like I can watch again.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, I don't know, say your girlfriend dumps you and then she's immediately with some other dude and then you got to watch. She's posting photos on Instagram about it. And you're like, ugh, I don't need to see this.
That is exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I don't think I will watch any of the Dallas Winnipeg series. I have no interest in it. I don't want to see it. It's too personal.
If it goes
That's how
to
I feel.
Game 7, I'll watch.
No,
I'll
I'm
watch
not going to
Game
watch.
7.
Again, like I said, I hope the Jets get swept, and then I hope the Stars sweep the Jets, and then I hope the Stars get swept. I will watch Toronto and Florida. I am rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. Coming out of the Western Conference, that's the team I want to advance. But yeah, I don't think I will watch any of the Winnipeg-Dallas series.
On Twitter, we have another poll because our show is driven by polls. And what we want for you to do is participate. Follow us at Chris Amy KMOX. And we have up there right now a poll. Do you continue to watch the playoffs when your team has been eliminated? Can you bring yourself to do it? Or do you feel like it's a party you're not invited to anymore? Do you feel sick to your stomach watching other teams play, which is kind of how I feel?
Yes.
So do you continue to watch the playoffs when your team has been eliminated? Follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX and vote in our poll. You can also text us at 314-436-7900 and let us know what you think, or the voice messages on the Odyssey app. I guess I would say this. At least we have the Cardinals, and I need them to now make a run. They won last night. I need them to make a run.
That was one of my first thoughts after the Blues lost was, well, the Cardinals have to make the playoffs now. They have to. I need some local playoffs. Yeah. Hey, I was just thinking, our show is kind of like a strip club. Polls are a big deal.
Let's talk to John from South St. Louis, who's called into the show. Hello, John.
Hi. I just wanted to comment. This loss hurts so much.
Yeah.
Can we just stop talking about it?
Well,
and the end with it, okay? It just brings up bad feelings.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yes, and if you think the Cardinals are going to pick the playoffs...
come on, don't do this, John. Don't, no.
John,
I got some land in Florida for you.
No, come on, John, we
got
need
5 months of the season.
Yeah.
We need this, John.
Happening.
No.
It's not happening.
Well, not with an attitude like that.
Yeah, John.
Come on.
Sorry. It's the facts of life.
Okay.
I hate the facts of life.
Are you doing okay? John, are you doing okay today?
I'm fine, but, I was fine going to work until you guys started talking about the Blues loss.
Hey, at least you are not Anthony Stolars, the Toronto Maple Leafs goalie.
Oh,
Did you hear what happened to him? No, that's awful.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
It's not funny.
You think that helps John?
It's not going to help John. But
a man
John
got a concussion and threw up and had to be carried out in the stretcher?
So this was really awful. So the goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs was run into and shortly afterwards skated over and was sick on the bench, which is really, really bad.
Yeah, that's
when
not
you
good.
get sick right away. And then they had to take him out on a stretcher. And that's so concerning, Ron, because how many times have we seen someone get a concussion, but they keep playing for a little while, or, they go into concussion protocol the next day. I mean, my goodness, Paul Kariya doesn't remember a year of his life.
Right.
He scored multiple goals after his concussion. So for him to be taken out on a stretcher is really, really concerning.
So, John, does that make you feel any better about your situation today?
I think you all should go over to Fairmount Park and pet the horses today.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. That's actually a good
All right,
idea.
Yeah, we can do that.
And you know what I feel bad? Remember when we got in trouble yesterday from Chris May, the St. Louis University
he
athletics
walked right
director?
in and yelled at us.
He was literally, I think he was speeding down the highway. I think he got his coffee and was driving at a leisurely pace to Norwood Hills Country Club. He turned on our show, and we were so sullen and morose that I bet he floored it because he was running into the country club like, stop it. Pick yourselves up.
Yeah.
He told us to be more positive. I felt chastised.
Who does he think he is?
Well, he's an athletics director, and it was his event.
So he's going to a positive event. I mean, I guess we were too.
Ron, what if someone came to your birthday party and was the Debbie Downer, like, well, I guess I'll never see my family again. And you'd be like, listen, buddy, it's my birthday. That's what we did to Chris May.
Oh, man. I think Chris is fine. And we're okay. But this is how we get through it. I think we get through it by talking it out. Don't you think, Amy?
That and tequila, probably a little tequila.
This message to 314-436-7900. That guy acts like it's December and he's saying the Blues aren't going to make the playoffs. Well, he's talking about the Cardinals, I think. He's saying it's too early in the season to say the Cardinals aren't going to make the playoffs.
No, it is way too. It's not even Flag Day yet. It's not even Mother's Day.
Well, I'm going to tell you this thing about Flag Day.
No, come on, just.
I don't need Flag Day.
I don't like
think
the vibe of this show right now.
Well, I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you right now. We don't need to wait till Flag Day. You know what your team is at the end of May.
Call Claves right now, man.
Claves is wrong.
Oh my gosh!
I appreciate his
gall.
I appreciate his sentiment. But if you don't know what your team is at the end of May, you don't know what it is in the middle of June.
The Blues had a metaphorical Flag Day at the Four Nations. You don't know who your team is till the Four Nations now.
Yeah, okay. So this is true for 99% of teams. There's always that one outlier that goes on a stupid run like the Blues did and won 12 in a row.
Whole life as an outlier.
This texter here says they will watch Game 7 of the Winnipeg-Dallas series if that happens.
Bill, who's watching us on the YouTube streaming, he says, I don't continue to watch.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But I think I will watch a Game 7 if that happens.
I don't. I can't do it. I don't, because I really do not like the Dallas Stars. Yeah. That obviously, even though we defeated them in 2019, I don't like Jamie Benn. I don't like their team. But here's the thing with the Winnipeg Jets, I will say. You always have some division rivalry, but our rivalry with Winnipeg now is real. And it's going to be big next year. I think we all hate Winnipeg now.
And it's all our own. It's our own team's fault. They allowed it to happen. This is from Brian in Union, Missouri. Yes, I will continue to watch the playoffs because I love hockey anyway.
Yeah.
And the Stanley Cup winner will be the Winnipeg Jets.
No,
they are built for this top to bottom. Sorry, folks. So,
no.
And that is the exact opposite of me. I think what Brian is saying is that he wants the team that beats his team to win the whole thing because he feels better about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm spiteful.
Yeah.
I want the team that beats mine to lose badly.
I want them to suffer like I have suffered.
I want you to suffer.
Suffer like I have suffered. And you know what? I like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the Edmonton Oilers who have been through hell as an organization. I want them to make it to the final.
Reach out to the show, text us, or you can leave a message on the Odyssey app or give us a call too. 314-436-7900. Chris and Amy, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I guess you best investigate the facts of life. Gotta get 'em right.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow,
Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Spring is here. Time to have your valuable trees inspected by Gamma Tree to enhance the beauty and safety of your trees. I'm Tim Gamma.
I'm Tom Gamma. Don't trust your trees to just anyone. Call the pros at Gamma Tree, now in our 71st year.
Our talented staff of certified arborists can survey your trees to determine their needs, whether pruning, fertilizing, pest control, or removals at the highest level of professionalism.
Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. After the back nine, enjoy our world-class dining and distilleries, shops and spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO at visitmo.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Hey, your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, or visit the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Tuesday morning.
It's a Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM KMOX. We're with you until 12. It's a 9 to noon show now. So for about a month, I guess, we've been doing this. We moved up an hour. Then at 12 o'clock, the Gas House Gang. I should let you know about this, that manager Ollie Marmol is going to join the show. He does every Tuesday right at 12. So Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman, and me, we all talk to Ollie. We ask him questions. He takes questions and comments from you. And in fact, he is watching the stream too. So if he sees, he will see your comment if you leave it on YouTube or on Facebook and Twitter, or he might see it. But we try to get to some of those, and he doesn't mind answering your questions.
You know what? If he were looking at our stream right now, he would be shocked that our viewers are fighting with each other.
So this message here from somebody who calls themselves Colonel Ripper. There are a lot of us out here who don't follow the Blues and don't care if they lost. That is not nice.
I'll be Robert. Let's make this a play. You should read Colonel Rippers again.
There are a lot of us out here who don't follow the Blues and don't care if they lost.
You can be indifferent to the Blues' loss, but you have to acknowledge that every home game is income to the region.
Okay, sure, Robert. Just leave it there. The conversation goes on. Yes, you can join the YouTube stream and fight with each other if you want in the chat. You can do that. But I love the idea of just saying, yeah, okay, sure, Robert.
And I will say this to Robert's point. I'm on Robert's side. The businesses, the hotels, the restaurants, the coffee shops, the parks, even talking to fans, the Winnipeg media, guess what they do for the rest of the day when they're not watching the team's practice? They go to the art museum, they go to the Arch, they go to restaurants, they drive around town. And I know I'm saying that's just the media, but fans in general, it is millions of dollars for the city.
It is.
The longer you stay in the playoffs.
Absolutely. This message is from Kurt, who texts into the show. To me, it's like a bad breakup. I need a little time before I get back in the dating scene. I need a little time before I can start watching hockey again. And I need to hit the gym and keep my mind off things for a while to try to see the beauty in the other parts of my life. See, that's a fine way to look at it.
Yeah, I know. I have to tell myself, there's like, Amy, you're going to be okay. I didn't read Jake's yet. Jake did say, I only watch NFL postseason games, or if the Stanley Cup goes to Game 7, if there's no St. Louis team in it. And I will say, the one thing about the NFL, every game kind of almost feels like a postseason game. Every game matters in the NFL in a way that it doesn't in baseball. And I'm not saying games don't matter in baseball, but you can lose 10 games in a row in baseball and still make the playoffs. You can in the NFL, you can't.
It's amazing, though, how a baseball loss feels like the end of the world, even though there are more of them than anything else.
Yeah.
There are more of them than cicadas when they show up every year. But still, it feels like every loss is devastating. Now, here is an angle that I have not thought of before, and I don't think many of us do because, you're team-centric, you're Blues-centric, you're Cardinal-centric, so you kind of just, you only see things from your own perspective. And this text message says, now we know how Texas Rangers fans felt when David Freese hit the 2-out, 2-strike triple in Game 6. Brutal.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's pretty true.
That's actually very true. And here was another baseball analogy. That Connor Hellebuck, and I know it's not the same, but someone did say Connor Hellebuck is kind of like Brad Lidge, giving up that huge game, but then they still went on to win the series. They still beat the Cardinals.
Yeah. But then he gave up the booty in the World Series.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Which is maybe
that's what happens to Connor.
Will do that.
That's
in
exactly
the next
right.
series. But you're right. The Rangers have got to feel. Who was that pitcher?
Oh, I can't remember now. I don't remember. But that was. Just imagine. You saw Ron Washington over in the dugout, how excited he was. He thought he was and from all accounts, pretty good dude, right? Just
they take the plastic down in the locker room.
Oh,
Hurry, take the plastic down. Take it down.
Because they put it up thinking there's going to be a champagne celebration, and then the clubhouse attendants have to hurry up and tear it all down. Oh, absolutely brutal.
That's why they say don't count your eggs until the chickens arrive.
However, all the clubhouse attendants were St. Louisans and Cardinals fans, and they were probably like, this is amazing.
This is amazing.
Ripping down the plastic in the locker room. Hell yes. That's Amy Mark Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. Follow along with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we want you to follow us at Chris Amy KMOX. It is Amy Mark Scores and Chris Ranji, 104.1 FM.
Check out The Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for The Terrace Private Assisted Living.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your crew to Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs. May 23rd to the 25th, catch great promotions all weekend long, including a Mason Win bobblehead and a Kid City Connect jersey giveaway. Kick off your summer with ballpark hot dogs, ice-cold beers, and entertainment for the whole family. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com. This is how summer is meant to be. See you at the ballpark.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Catch a Cardinals game on your next date night or friends night out. Whether it's love in the stands or laughter with your crew, nothing beats ballpark vibes under the lights. Cold drinks, great eats, and Cardinals baseball. Check out Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium and enjoy happy hour price food and drinks all game long. Every Friday home game. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com and make memories that go beyond the scoreboard. Busch Stadium, where great nights begin.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts May 16th through the 19th, showcasing patriotic music, classical, pop tunes, and more. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
It is gorgeous outside, 56 degrees and mostly sunny. And that's going to be the way it's going to be the most of the afternoon. Sunny, getting warmer, up to 74 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, 55 degrees. Tomorrow, 76 and mostly cloudy. Weather sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Busey Bank in recognizing Ron Doherty for building community. President and CEO Ron Doherty has been strengthening our communities for 40 years. After merging Doherty Business Solutions with CGI, he launched Doherty Enterprises and Foundation, which supports the Alzheimer's Association, other worthy causes, and innovative solutions with millions of dollars annually. Follow Doherty Enterprises on LinkedIn to learn more.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. The Doherty Foundation supports the Alzheimer's Association and other causes financially, while Doherty Enterprises uses AI and advanced technology to provide support and relief to patients and caregivers dealing with Alzheimer's and other dementia diseases. Follow their lead. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Wednesday night, City SC begins U.S. Open Cup play as they face Omaha, Nebraska. And you can hear this game live. Pre-game 6:50, kick at 7. Wednesday night on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet.
Well, I mean, he really set the table for us there. That was President Trump explaining the AI-generated image of him as the Pope, which he did post on his Truth Social, which is effectively tweeting because there are accounts that automatically post on Twitter everything that he posts on Truth Social. So everyone on both platforms saw it. And good to hear, relieved to hear that the Catholics loved it.
Well,
Loved it.
I can't speak for the Catholics, so I won't pretend to speak for all of them. My guess is that not all of them loved it, and maybe not even half of them loved it.
That was a Fox reporter asking the question.
It was.
Just in case it is important to those to people. That was a Fox News reporter asking him about that image and whether or not maybe be a little bit more respectful. Especially, it's not just that it's a picture of Trump as Pope, which has its issues, but also the Pope just died. You know, it's not even like, hey, in the future, I'll be Pope. And this, you know, Pope Francis just died days ago.
And a lot of people feel, I mean, he is very important to them in their lives. Right.
And the thing
so
is,
it's I don't know if I would say that if I were him.
And I bet you feel this way because I know you could probably make a joke or listen to a joke about most things, any religion, and not be offended and say it's a joke. But the reason why this matters is he's the president of the United States, and it's not super presidential.
Maybe a comedian would do it and get away with it, and that's fine.
Comedians can get away with anything. I mean, Christians have been the butt of a lot of jokes, but it's not the president of the United States.
Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of. No. I think it's the fake news media that, they're fakers.
My question, though, sir, was about the fact that it was put out on the White House account, even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme. Does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on that particular
Give me a
channel?
break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
And
I agree with fun.
Yeah. And again, I know he was saying it fake news, but that was a Fox News reporter. And she was bringing it up because U.S. Cardinal Timothy Dolan is the one who said that Trump showing the picture of himself as Pope, quote, wasn't good. He did not say whether the White House should apologize to Catholics or not. And here's the thing. It's people can make jokes. People can make mistakes. And whenever you are assessing the actions or the comments of an individual, especially when that person is the president of the United States, you do generally take in all of their actions and their character in general. It's like, okay, well, it will give him the benefit of a doubt, or maybe he didn't mean this, or it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. With Trump, so many controversial actions, whether they're executive orders or quotes about the Constitution or comments about the Pope or AI generated images, it's like drinking from a fire hose. So it's fatiguing sometimes to just be like, there is something to be said for decorum. And I think it was The Atlantic. It said, where have all the classy politicians gone?
Well, there does seem to be fewer of them than there used to be, even if, and I don't think politicians have ever really been popular. But it does seem like there's less of that. I would say that it is okay, in my opinion, it is okay to make jokes about religion because it's in fun, right? And I don't know if people, when they make the jokes, they're doing it with a venomous mindset. But maybe the president shouldn't. Yeah. Maybe that's just one of those jobs where you just shouldn't, because there are people who voted for you who will feel alienated by it. So I think it's language you should be more careful with. Again, a comedian wants to do it. Okay, then we'll deal with that. But maybe the president shouldn't do that. And I think we are interested to know, if you are Catholic, whether you did or did not vote for him. In fact, I think it would be interesting to know if you did vote for him and you hated it. You hated that he did that because it is important to you, and he seemed to mock it a bit. However you feel, however you voted, we would like to know. So send us a message, 314-436-7900, or leave us a voice message from the Odyssey app. Because again, I am not a religious person. I'm just not. So that does not really offend me personally, but I'm not Catholic. But I know a lot of people who are Catholic, and maybe many of them do think it's funny, but I imagine that it's probably not half the people who think it's funny.
Right. And I would say that I am not Catholic. Obviously, I'm evangelical Christian, and I don't get offended easily, in the sense that I am very confident in my faith, and I have been mocked roundly a lot for my faith. I just have. And I'm not so defensive. I'm not low in self-esteem. I am confident in my faith. But there's a difference between not being offended and acknowledging that something could be inappropriate.
Yeah.
So again, am I offended by the image of Trump as Pope? Well, no, because it's ridiculous. What I am more concerned about is that an official president/White House account is so cavalier with people's beliefs or faiths or how it presents itself, kind of takes joy in mocking, that it would just throw it out there without saying, there probably are some pretty devout Catholics who wouldn't want to see this. Probably, and here's the thing, probably some devout Catholics who voted for me.
Yeah.
Who would see this as somewhat mocking of their faith. And so, like I said, is that pearl clutching No, I just think it's unpresidential. And I don't think it represents the country well. Interestingly, Vice President J.D. Vance, who converted to Catholicism a couple of years ago, defended Trump regarding his pontiff post. And Bill Kristol, who was the chief of staff to the vice president in the Bush administration, tweeted at J.D. Vance, "Hey, J.D. Vance, you fine with this disrespect and mocking of the Holy Father?" And J.D. Vance responded to Bill Kristol saying, quote, "As a general rule, I'm fine with people telling jokes and not fine with people starting stupid wars that kill thousands of my countrymen," referring to George Bush and Iraq and Afghanistan, which to me was also an inappropriate escalation. And it is indicative of that new strain of populism on the right that reveals that not only is the Reagan Republican dead, but the Bush Republican is dead, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And I get it. You're right, Ron. I think politicians, oh my gosh, yes, they were never angelic. And people, they were not always, they were not worshipped. We know.
I think there was more reverence
there
for
was-
some for politics in general
and
a
the
long time ago.
positions that they're in. And I don't even think it's that long, because if you look at some of the conversations or debates with George Bush and Obama, there's decorum and respect for the position of the presidency.
Well,
Mitt
so
Romney and
I'll-
Obama, they respected each other.
I will give you an example of something. From my personal experience, I remember when Ronald Reagan was in town. I was very little. I don't know what age, but I remember when he was here. I don't know why he was here, but I remember being on the street with my parents downtown St. Louis, and his motorcade drove past us, and he waved at us through the limo. So I remember it. I don't know politics at the time, but I do know that my mom and dad were not. They were not especially big fans of Ronald Reagan, but they always talked about it like, wasn't that really cool when we saw him?
Yeah.
Like,
The
man,
president.
that's cool. We saw the president.
Yeah.
I mean, if that happened today and it's a guy you don't like, you're probably like, oh, screw that guy still, but I think people did used to have more reverence for the office.
So here's what's interesting. Take this for what it's worth. My grandpa was born in 1920. He fought in World War II. In his latter days, he was a Rush Limbaugh listener, right?
Yeah.
He was a Reagan Republican, but he talked about his entire voting life. He would vote sometimes Democrat, sometimes Republican. He told me about the different presidents he voted for because it just wasn't as divisive. And,
Right.
and again, I'm not lifting these guys up as angels. And you could say, well, it was a facade. Honestly, I'm okay with a little bit of a facade if a facade means decorum and etiquette, because that's how societies operate. They operate with decorum and etiquette.
Harambe has texted in.
Okay.
And says, born and raised Catholic, voted for Trump twice, doesn't offend me, but I have a dark, dry sense of humor from being a veteran and an infantryman. Gallows humor, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people do see it that way.
And I think Catholics will acknowledge this too. Like, there's different kinds of Catholics, in the sense that I talked to some more casual Catholics, I guess you would say. Like Mike, I had some family members who'd be like, well, I guess I better go to church so I don't go to hell. Like kind of like the crazy wild partying, right? And some of them I was talking to, not offended, but also more devout Catholics maybe who practice in a different way, right? I would be interested to see what they think. Quick note, Bill texts into our StreamYard. Bill says, I'm Catholic and I sure as hell didn't vote for him either time. He also said he, meaning Trump, was distracting from all the other crap he's done.
Maybe. I don't know I really don't think a lot of that is intentional. I think that people think that he says things to distract so he can do something else that we're not paying attention to. I'm not sure he's that deliberate of a person. This message says, I'm not a good Catholic, but I'm offended. Let's get a voice message.
I am a Catholic. I did not vote for Trump, but I do think that taking a picture of a world leader who has just died and turning it into a joke is very disrespectful.
Thank you for the voicemail. Yeah, and that's the thing. is it disrespectful if Dave Chappelle does it, or another comedian?
Probably, but it is a comedian.
Probably, but it's a comedian.
That's what
and
they
that's
do.
what they do.
Right.
They're subversive. They're disrespectful. And I'm glad we live in a country where they can be subversive and
That's
disrespectful,
exactly
even if
right.
I don't like it.
Yep.
But when you are the president and you're tweeting this out from the White House account or from your own personal account, I do think it is different, because people will say, why do you focus so much on what he says? Why do you care what he tweets? It's because he's the president. When you're the most powerful person in the world, it matters.
And here's a message that says kind of the same thing along those lines. Have any of you thought about the fact that by highlighting this and people constantly talking about it, they are giving him power and wondering why those who don't want him in office do it? And I get that sentiment, but he is the president. You can't just ignore it. You can't just be like, let's just never talk about it. And of course, we don't really always want to, but sometimes something comes up and I feel like,
well, and St. Louis has such a strong Catholic presence.
A lot of Catholics,
and it was
yes,
Cardinal
of course.
Dolan who was calling out the president. So we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And Ranj, I will say this. Sometimes it's a bit of a no-win situation where if Trump does something, whether it's the tariffs, you could say the tariffs, you could say certain executive orders, and you talk about it and go, well, this is insane. They say, well, why are you surprised? He told you. He's been saying this. This is exactly what he's going to do. But then when he says something, even before he takes action, and you say, well, he's going to enact these tariffs. No, that's just him talking. Don't take him seriously. He just says things. And so whether you talk about what he says or you don't talk about what he says, you are going to be doing the wrong thing.
Feel free to weigh in and let us know if you agree or disagree, how you feel. If you're Catholic and
We'd
you
love to
have an
hear from you.
opinion
Yeah.
on this, and let us know if you did, or you don't have to, but if you want to let us know that you
We know we have Catholics
we'll
listening.
find out. Well, no, I'm saying if you voted. I think in this particular case, it is important to the conversation to know if they voted for him and are Catholic.
Like I said, I know there are a lot of Catholics who did vote for him, a lot of Catholics who didn't. One issue, obviously, pro-life is very strong within the Catholic community, so that could be a reason why you vote for him. At any rate, we do love hearing from you, and thank you for all of your comments.
Yep. Go ahead and text the show to 314-436-7900 or voice messages to the Odyssey app. Did you see this? Next.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law. There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Father's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for dads and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Here's comedians and Skechers getting comfortable. Presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-ins, you just step it and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids. In all your favorite Skechers styles, find Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Martzgors, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranch.
What?
You know, I am something of an uptight grammarian, but I know you are too.
What? I'm not like you.
No, but you hate supposedly.
I do hate that one. And what this one has always kind of bothered me, but it's bothering me more as time goes on, where I'm like, I think you mean fewer, not less.
Oh, wait, I say that.
Really, yeah, it happens.
Wait, you don't like the misuse, or you don't like when people correct it?
I don't like the misuse.
Yes. Okay. Less is when you can't count it. Less sugar.
Yes.
Fewer is when you can. Fewer bananas.
Yes.
Because you can't count sugar. Right. Okay. So this common phrase bothers me so much because people misuse it, and it begs the question. Begging the question. People use it incorrectly. So the Washington Post opinion page, Mark Laswell, wrote about the misuse of begging the question. And what's so cool is, as he's talking about it, he says, quote, "Somehow I've long known what that now widely misused phrase actually means. Probably thanks to being taught high school English in St. Louis by William A. Bascom."
Oh, William
A. Bascom of the family of the teacher, Mr. Bascom. Thank you. And begs the question, the way so many people use it now is to set up when they're going to ask a question.
Right.
Like, well, that begs the question, how do you make banana bread? When really what begs the question means is it's a proper way of saying, what are you talking about? Like, you could say that, his example he gave was fox hunting isn't cruel because foxes like the chase. That begs the question, period. There's no question that comes after that. Begging the question means you're missing the point.
Yes.
Or you have no point. What are you talking about? So anyway, a teacher in St. Louis taught Mark Laswell, and he wrote about it in the Washington Post a couple of days ago.
That's fun.
That's very cool.
I saw this video the other day from a Pearl Jam concert.
Okay.
And I wanted to play the audio, but I did not think that it would work well because I don't think it would sound right because it was from somebody's cell phone and it wasn't great quality, so people wouldn't be able to hear it. But Eddie Vedder is telling a story about being in the grocery store, which in itself is funny, that he went into the store to buy fruit and vegetables. And he just said he was in one of those days where he just did not want to be bothered. But then also, why'd you go to the store? But anyway, he didn't want to be bothered. And he's like, I see this guy and he's coming for me. And I know something is about to happen. He's coming. Oh, great. He's coming to talk to me. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, here he is. He's walking up. Here we go. And the guy says, I think you have our cart. Eddie just walked off with the wrong cart.
That's funny.
Thought he was going to get hounded by
Yes.
a fan. And then he goes, the guy had no idea who the F I was.
Oh, that's awesome.
So funny. If you find the video, you should. It's a really funny story.
That's
that he
like when Tony Hawk actually brought his skateboard on an airplane and some kids laughed at him and like, who do you think you are, man?
No,
Tony
wasn't it
Hawk?
a subway?
Was it a subway? I thought
I think it was a
some
subway.
transportation.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were like, who do you think you are, Tony Hawk?
That's really funny. That's Amy Markscores. I'm Chris Ranji. We will talk to Dave Simons, the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth. He's with us next. The Fed meeting today to talk about interest rates and what that means for you. That's next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners. And for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been the trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with our experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, Decorators, and Duralife to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. Hackman Lumber has been serving homeowners and pros for 80 years, and they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials guaranteed. Whether you DIY with their expert advice or need a trusted contractor, Hackman has you covered. They are now an authorized steel dealer and stock a huge selection of grills. So celebrate summer with a new Big Green Egg, pellet grills, Weber gas, or charcoal grill, and all the accessories you need for the perfect backyard setup. Visit Hackman Lumber's showrooms in St. Charles, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri, or hackmanstl.com.
Views, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
It is 10 o'clock. We've got partly sunny skies and 58 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Support staff at the Vatican, including cooks, cleaners, medical staff, and maintenance workers, took an oath of secrecy yesterday ahead of the papal conclave. Cardinals will be taking their oaths at the Sistine Chapel when the conclave begins. Conservative Friedrich Merz wins on a second ballot to become Germany's chancellor hours after his historic defeat in the first round. Missouri is one of 3 Republican-led states trying to overturn prescribing guidelines for mifepristone, a pill for medical abortions. But the Trump administration is urging a judge to toss the lawsuit. A Justice Department legal filing says Missouri, Kansas, and Idaho's efforts will keep the case going in the wrong place at the wrong time, that the states do not have legal standing to sue in the Northern District of Texas, where the case was filed. President Trump announcing he wants to reopen the notorious Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay. CBS News Bay Area correspondent Elizabeth Cook takes a look at the cost effectiveness of that plan.
It's a small prison, too. Its maximum capacity was 336, and it was never filled.
John Martini gave tours for the National Park Service, which took over what remains of the site. Is Alcatraz in any way, shape, or form ready to be a prison right now?
No, there's no running water. There's no sanitation. There's no heat.
Trump cuts hit Cinema St. Louis, the organization's St. Louis International Film Festival, which has been running since 1992, has lost its grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. President Trump has called for the complete elimination of the NEA. Cinema St. Louis has received NEA grants since at least 2004, according to the Business Journal. Other organizations getting funds cut from the NEA grants include the St. Louis Shakespeare Festival, Contemporary Art Museum, Laumeier Sculpture Park, St. Louis Dance Theater, the Black Rep, and the Kranzberg Arts Foundation. DoorDash is reporting record quarterly revenue, even as more Americans feel increasingly uneasy about the U.S. economy. Total DoorDash orders climbed 18% to 732 million. That is a quarterly record. DoorDash also making 2 acquisitions of other food delivery companies. The weather is sponsored for you by Siding Express and sidingexpress.com. We have sunshine in store for us today, a few clouds here and there, and a high of 72 degrees. Some sun tomorrow, turning cloudy with a shower in places in the afternoon, a high 71, and then a passing shower in the morning on Thursday, followed by thunderstorms in the afternoon. Thursday's high 74. Right now, it's mostly sunny in downtown St. Louis, 58 degrees. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. It is 10:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The Fed meeting today talking about interest rates, what might change, what is or isn't, and how it will affect you or how it won't. Got a lot of things to talk about with Dave Simons, who joins us every Tuesday here on KMOX. He's the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth. Dave Simons, how are you?
You know, I'm good, Chris, but let me throw out some kudos for your boy Matt there. I mean, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but that intro music was REO Speedwagon's Easy Money.
That's right, Dave.
I mean, how perfect. Heading into the Fed, talking about interest rates and the possibility of easy money. That guy's good.
We like to not bring it up and just move on.
I think he's good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Thanks, Dave.
So what,
you're more than welcome, Matt.
What is your expectation today with the Fed in the meeting?
Well, it's a 2-day meeting, and so they'll actually give their announcement tomorrow. But as far as tinkering with interest rates or anything like that, that is likely not going to happen. They'll leave well enough alone. So your analysts and your economists are more. What they're really looking for is what do they see in the next couple of quarters? Because everything that we hear with corporate earnings right now, these CEOs and CFOs go out there and they always talk about lack of clarity. We don't know what the tariffs are going to do, so we don't know how to go forward with our business in the future. And I think you very well could see and hear some confusion out of the Fed, which is that doesn't happen very often, but it should be very telling. So I think that all we're going to get tomorrow is more question marks, frankly, than anything. And I think that's why you're seeing the market just kind of pausing here. It was down a little yesterday. It's down a little today on really no news except heading into this Fed announcement tomorrow. And I'm not so sure we're going to get much guidance.
You know, Dave, this is I guess, a question and a joke, but I don't know if you've heard about the economist and the engineer who fell down a 100-foot well, and the engineer said, "We'll never get out of here. We can't do it." And the economist said, "First, assume a ladder." And
That's exactly right.
yes, and so with I'm offending people by calling it a soft science, but when you are looking at the Fed, how much are we creating our own reality by how we act to what they do?
Amy, let me tell you something. You just really hit the nail on the head more than anything else, because there are two sets of data. There's the hard data, which is what the Fed entirely rests their opinions on. They look at unemployment, they look at inflation, they look at how the economy has been going, not so much where it is going. The rest of us, though, and me in particular, I look more importantly at soft data when we're trying to arrange portfolios. And that is more of what you just talked about, Amy. It's our own behavior. So look, I could point out to the sky on a beautiful spring day and say, "Look how beautiful it is. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's blue. The sun is out." And you might say, "Nah, it's about to rain any moment. It's going to rain. I know it is." I'd say, "Amy, but that's not even in the forecast." "Nope, I just feel it. I have experience in this. It's going to rain." Even if it doesn't, you are changing your behavior that day as if it's going to rain. You're going to maybe cancel that picnic you had in the afternoon. You're going to stay at home. You've got your umbrella ready. Well, if that's being repeated millions of times across the country, then guess what? The economy is really not behaving like it should on a sunny day. So that's analogous to what I look at with the soft data, and that is showing up in a lot of these sentiment polls where corporations are kind of laying low for now, and even consumers are also starting to lay low. The hard data is actually still pretty good. You may have seen that unemployment report that came out last Friday. It was good. And that's what the Fed looks at. And that's why I don't think they're going to be cutting rates. They still see an economy that's humming on all cylinders. I see an economy that is maybe perhaps starting to weaken because of that self-fulfilling prophecy. They see the clouds coming on the horizon.
Yeah. So is there maybe more confidence than there should be right now?
You know, I just saw a survey of professional money managers. So these are not the rest of us, the mom and pop investors. These are the men and women who really take all the seats on Wall Street. They are now the most pessimistic at any time since 1997. That was an eye-opening statistic that I saw over the weekend. Now, does that mean they're right? Absolutely not. For people who were investing back then, you may recall 98 and 99, the 2 years that followed that pessimism that was running around Wall Street, were really strong. The S&P were up more than 20%. So I actually see a positive to this. I'm a bit of a contrarian. When everyone's really giddy and everyone's excited about the economy and they're buying stock and they're mortgaging the house to add to stock positions, I get worried. But because there's just enough pessimism with mom and pop investors and with professional investors, I'm not saying the market can't decline, but I think it keeps a floor underneath this. That's why I am not overly bearish. I just think this market is going to trade within a range for a while.
Dave, how much do generations and the overall, meaning age generations, and the overall trends of how they act affect the economy and how you project the economy? And what I mean by this is my dad, right, 70 years old, how he would buy a house is very different than how my brother, who is 30, is looking to buy his first house. And my brother is younger. He's acting different. He absorbs the economy differently. As the younger generations start becoming, their financial mass grows, will economics change?
They very well could. When I got into the business, I had, as some of my first clients, people who were actually adults during the Great Depression. They weren't little kids, they were adults, they were already managing money. It's interesting, Amy. I had to treat them differently. It was a big surprise to me as a new person in the industry. How they wanted to invest was so different than when I got into the business more than 30 years ago, and people of my age and people even in their 40s and 50s. These were at the time, early 80s into their 90s. You couldn't show them this new company called Microsoft or Apple. That was scary stuff, man. They saw companies like that fail in the 20s and 30s. So they would buy their Laclede gas and back then Union Electric stock, and then bonds and CDs. I had to treat them differently with everybody else. So you're exactly right. Economies and markets change based on generations. And I see that as actually a positive. People of my generation, certainly in the 60s, but also younger, have grown up with more knowledge of markets as investors. Now, some of them get a little ridiculous by putting half their money in Bitcoin. I'll put that aside, but at least they're somewhat engaged in a little bit and learning a little bit about it. And one more thing. We are about to see the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. As the aging baby boomers now get into their 80s and they start to pass on, we will see trillions of dollars go to younger generations over the next 10 to 15 years. It'll be unlike anything that we see. This will help keep the stock market propped up because a lot of the older investors don't have as much in stock as they might have once had. But now, once that's passed on to their kids and grandkids, a lot of that money will be filtered even more back into the market. I see this as a positive long-term development.
In terms of the tariffs and the impact they're going to have, there was a hedge fund. I can't remember his name now, but he had just said that even if the president reduces those China tariffs to 50%, right now they're well over 100. That if he reduces to 50, that he believes the stock market will hit new lows. Do you agree with that?
This is the conundrum in which I find myself. I am like so many others in the profession right now. It's hard to make a prediction because we don't know what these tariffs are going to look like. And I saw the interview you're referring to. What he's really talking about is kind of what we touched on at the beginning this morning. And that is, have people already changed their behavior enough that it's already affecting supply chains? We're seeing that in real-time data. It is affecting it. Are certain purchases now that people were going to make later in the year, they're making now, which means we're going to have a softer economy in the latter half of the year. We're seeing signs that that is a possibility. So a lot of these hedge fund managers who have a great track record are really worried that no matter, even if we just go all the way back to just a 10% tariff across the board, we'll get a huge near-term spike in the market, but then that will start to wane in the lower half. I'm not as bearish as some of these guys are. I think we can survive it. We don't have to fall into a bear market, but that's a big fear among a lot of professional investment money managers who have their ear to the ground, and they don't think that we can avoid a slowing economy because of what's happening today with all the uncertainty of tariffs.
Dave, do you have any thoughts on Warren Buffett, who decided to retire at the young age of 94?
Oh, a legend, a legend. Well, let me give you a very personal and painful story here.
Oh.
So when I was much younger in the business, I decided I was going to buy one share of Berkshire Hathaway, like my investing idol. That was one of the greatest decisions I have ever made. Do you know what the worst decision is I've ever made?
Buy more of it.
That I sold it.
Oh.
That one share, because they've never split their stock, last week hit
no.
$800,000.
Oh no, I don't like this makes me feel sick to my stomach. This is like the Bitcoin guy that bought the burrito or the pizza.
Oh, the guy who lost his password?
No, a guy
he bought it with the I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but there was another guy
He lost his password.
and there's no like, hey, calling customer service,
No,
like I've
it's
lost
over.
my password. and he had, I forgot how many millions of dollars in it.
He'd be a billionaire
Yeah.
today. I know the story you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, so
and he had
to
like
solve
one
it-
more try before he got locked out, so he didn't. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
so you
and
were there, Dave?
well, so if there's any silver lining, look, I
Ugh.
put the money back into other investments that have made me money, so I'm okay. And I didn't sell it like 20 years ago. I sold it not too long ago, so I still did okay. But yeah, nothing.
Oh.
He has just beaten the S&P. Here's the best thing about this. If you had put $1 into Berkshire Hathaway when he bought it back in the early 60s, so 62 years ago, $100 $100 would be worth $37 million today.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
It's the most incredible stock performance in the history of modern finance.
What year was that?
1962 or 3 is like 62 years ago. $100,
Well.
$37.5 million today.
Are there, we talk about people who have made it big, who invented things and so forth, but are there average Joes out there who did nothing spectacular other than buying $100 of Berkshire Hathaway and not selling it?
You do have, I love these stories. It's like the Microsoft story where even the janitors were given stock when the company went public, and now they're multi-millionaires.
Ugh.
Yes, you have people. See, the thing about Berkshire Hathaway, if you look at it, it owns a lot of different companies. So you're kind of getting a mutual fund, if you will, by owning all the companies that Warren Buffett has bought over the past 60 years. So a lot of these employees of the companies that were purchased were given some Berkshire Hathaway stock. And I've read about some of these stories. Here's the little old lady who was a secretary who became a millionaire just because Warren Buffett decided to buy the company. Great American success stories.
So is it still true? Because you were just talking about the generation of wealth that's going to be passed down. Is it still true he's not giving his money to his kids when he dies?
Very little. That's the latest we've had. He's already given so much of it away to foundations that he's either part of or other foundations like Bill Gates Foundation. But that is true. He told his kids, "You're going to have to make it on your own."
It's kind of because it's not me. It's kind of awesome.
I would be. I'm already trying to get
because
money
it's
from
not
my
you.
parents.
Because it's not me. I think that is awesome. Now, if it were
Well,
me, I'd be
you-
pissed.
Well, you know what? His last purchase, you need to convince him, come in and buy Odyssey and Camel X. Then you would get your Berkshire Hathaway stock.
He's not going to give me anything.
I know.
Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts, Dave,
That's awesome.
because of these stories and your story, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm doing okay. It's one of those painful things. It's like, why did I?
See, yeah, I mean, like you said, you're doing okay, but see, 2 years ago, I bought a nice sweater. It was really expensive. It was $130. And I was just trying to feel good and wear a color that made me look nice. I think I was going through a hard time. Anyway, I bought the sweater. I get home. I hate the sweater. I hate it, but I don't return it in time. So now I've lost $130. I still think about that, Dave. And that's with a sweater. Can you imagine if I lost millions of dollars?
Or well, yeah, or all the kids who put, their rookie Topps baseball cards in the 50s and 60s on the spokes
Yeah.
of their wheels that are now worth hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. I think most of us at some point have stories like that. Yes.
Dave Simons, we appreciate it. We're going to talk to you next week.
Yep.
That sounds good. I look forward to it as always.
Dave is the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth. So I think the lesson is never sell any stocks.
Never sell any stock.
Ever. That's not the lesson.
From one hard-hitting topic to another. Coming up next, do horses know they're racing each other?
That's next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the good side. Baez is third, but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby.
Ran into Scott Jagow yesterday, and he said, it was Sovereignty. I knew it. That's the horse I wanted. I should have told you guys when I was talking to you Friday. It's
Did he
true.
bet on him?
I think he may have. I think he may have spread a little on the ponies. That's from NBC. That was the Kentucky Derby, one of the most watched in like 30 years. It was a
That's
very
crazy.
lots and lots of people tuned in to watch that Derby. And it's so funny that I forgot which one of you. So maybe it was Matt Pajeski. He sent this story to us this is from 2023, actually. And the headline of the story is, do racehorses even know they're racing each other? And it's funny because when we were talking to Scott, I was going to ask a question like that because I want to know. Because we talk about some of these people who are in the horse racing business, they talk about the horses like they are athletes and they like to compete. And my thought is like, wait, well, hold on. Do they know they're competing?
Does
Do
the
they-
horse even know it's in a race?
Yeah. But I think this is really interesting. Anyway, the bottom line here, at least according to the headline, do race horses even know they're racing each other? It's unlikely. But have you wondered that yourself?
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, here the story continues several paragraphs down. Does a horse even know it's in a race? Again, the answer is likely no.
Well, okay.
Says horses like running in a group.
So remember when ESPN years ago did the greatest athletes of all time? They did the countdown, and they ended up on Michael Jordan being number one. I don't remember which number it was.
I thought Secretariat won.
Secretariat didn't win. I think he was like number 2 or 3.
Yeah. It
But
was
they put-
something offensive.
Yeah, but they put Secretariat on that list. And can't you only be an athlete if you are aware that you are competing?
I think so, because otherwise, guess what would beat Secretariat? A bear in the wild or a lion?
Well, I don't think the bear could outrun him.
No, but he could bite his bottom, like
Well, yeah, but-
bite his rump, and drag him down like in the nature
Okay,
shows.
that's like saying a wrestler could beat up a guy on the track.
Well, they don't know they're competing. What's the difference? And that's the thing. Like, well, the horses don't know they're running. Then why don't we get cheetahs? Because cheetahs are faster than Secretariat. Cheetahs can hit 80
Because you
miles
can't
an
ride
hour.
a cheetah.
Cheetahs can. You don't have to ride it.
Well, somebody has to be on the horse to keep it in line, which I guess by definition means it doesn't know it's in a competition. Otherwise, you wouldn't need a jockey.
Well, because the jockey, apparently it can teach the horse to ignore its tendencies, because sometimes a horse will synchronize with other horses because they like running in a group. So that's why they wear blinders, and that's why the jockeys whip them, which I don't like. My mom has a hard time with that.
Well, nobody likes to watch the horse get whipped.
Well, I know, and that's why my mom is
But
like,
I don't think it's painful for the horse because their skin and their fur, they're just so
this
thick.
is
I
so
think
much
it's
speculation right now.
Yeah, so what? I don't care.
If it's
But
not painful, then why do they do
Because
it?
it's probably startling. But if you got hit by that little stupid
It would hurt.
little tiny whip thing
Yeah.
that they have, the little stick
Yeah.
with the leather thing at the end,
Yeah.
it would hurt you, but your skin is not as tough as a horse's skin.
It's not.
So
It's called a crop.
it's called a crop?
Yeah.
Well, this is a bunch of crop. This whole conversation.
So it says that
Secretariats-
the crops are used to direct the horse to travel much closer to other horses, risking sometimes fatal injuries. And it also encourages the horse to travel at speeds not of the horse's choosing.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
That's terrible.
So the horse does not know it's competing. Otherwise, it would run as fast as
Yeah.
it could to win. There you go. So the answer has been answered.
And says horses most likely have no concept of being in the race.
See?
It's terrible.
Do you think they even like it? Do you think they like what they're doing? The horses?
I don't think so. I think they're just trying, like Jerry Seinfeld, oat bag, where's my oat bag? That's what they're thinking.
I'm hungry. That's Amy Mark's course. I'm Chris Ranji. When we come back, our guy from Y98, Alex Rich, he is going to be singing the national anthem at the City SC game tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow. And of course, that we have that game on KMOX. We have a City SC game tomorrow. Also, he's the host of the Jews in the Lou podcast.
That's an awesome podcast.
It is with Ben Paremba. Alex Rich joins us next.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 Gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Currently, it is 60 degrees downtown at the Arch and mostly sunny, and it'll be mostly sunny the rest of the day. It will creep up to 74 for the high. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 76. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. Underdog is the leading place to make all of your sports selections. Just became one of the best places to make entries during playoff basketball as well. To play, all you have to do is download the app Underdog and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like points, assists, rebounds, and so much more. And once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1 and win up to $1,000 with that, just with basketball knowledge. I love checking out the Underdog app. I do it all the time, the basketball playoffs especially. And even if you're not a sports fan or a basketball fan, it'll enhance your viewing experience. Underdog. Download the app and sign up with promo code TOM to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TOM. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hey, St. Louis homeowners, are you thinking about upsizing, downsizing, or relocating this year? This is Debbie Monterey, and when life happens and you need to sell your home, I recommend you speak with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands every seller situation is unique, which is why she's created custom programs to fit every home seller's needs. Many people move out of necessity, like for a new job or financial challenges. And that's why Gloria's created her guaranteed multiple cash offer program, giving you up to 6 of the best offers with at least 1 at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Plus, you sell faster. Gloria did this for the Miller family in Clayton and got them more money than they were expecting and within their time frame. Gloria did it for them. She can do it for you. Get your offers today by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Tonight, the Cards, the Pirates. Cameron Total Access 550. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Cause if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, we'd have never missed a Christmas. No more ribbons on the door. Yeah.
It's Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM KMOX, and from our sister station down the hallway, Y98, we have Alex Rich joining us in studio right now. Alex he's got the national anthem tomorrow at the City SC game at Energizer Park. Also, he's the co-host with Ben Peremba of the podcast Jews in the Lou.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
I just
said it smells great in here. The KMOX
The whole vibe's different over here. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, once we went to FM, things really
You had to up it?
freshened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it naturally freshened up.
Yeah, it used to stink in here.
Yeah.
Then they added the FM
That
dial. They're
FM.
like, smells great now.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say this about Alex Rich. He knows everybody. Like, you do everything and know everybody.
Yeah, when people ask what I do, there's really there's not one answer.
Yeah.
That was some intro too. I appreciate it. I don't even know where you found that audio, but
Dark
it's great,
web, probably.
great work.
Was it dark web?
It's from the archives.
No, the archives.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I just I do a handful of different things. I've never really put myself into one box per se, and kind of always keep the door open to see what's next.
So what's next for you is the
Well,
national anthem.
What's
tomorrow.
next?
How'd that happen?
The national anthem. Can you believe it? I'm nervous as can
The
be.
hardest song to sing in the entire world.
That's what people say. And I think it's the hardest song in the world to sing if you don't sing it, like make it your own. Not make it your own in the way that like, what's her name? Ingrid, whatever did at the All-Star game, right? Like I don't want to check myself into rehab the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did. She did.
She did.
A
She
girl
really did.
sang, a woman sang the national anthem. A famous.
It was the MLB All-Star game last year.
And she was so, I guess, messed up that she did go to rehab. the
Yeah,
next
it
day.
was rough. No, you can't really look. I'm not a person I always say I'm not a great singer alone, and I'm not a great guitar player alone. But when you put them together, there's a handful of people that can do it. I guess I got my cousin that plays around. Pajeski here's a great guitar player.
He's really good.
He rocks out. Now
thanks.
I don't know if can you sing and play at the same time? I don't know.
No, I can't do that.
See, so
He can
it's
barely
like-
talk.
but the guy can play. So, for me, it's just like when you put it together, it's that was like my stipulation. I'm singing it with my guitar.
Yeah. Are
So-
you going to do the Whitney Houston version, obviously?
No, don't do
yeah.
that. He can't. He can't hit that note.
No, and they limit me to a minute 30 seconds.
Okay. So did you make your own
They
arrangement?
do
It's a quick one, dude. It's a quick one.
that. I love that they do that.
Yeah, it says
I-
90-second performance.
One of the things that does bother me about the national anthem performance
So if you want to know the over/under,
is like when people drag it out and they
Yeah.
do the whole just sing the anthem.
they have
man.
money
This
on the
is-
line.
You know what I would
Well, in
do?
the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would surprise people with the pacing. Like it's 90 seconds, but I think you should sing the first half really fast and slow it way down for the second
I do
half.
have some variations in there, but yeah, you ask. I did kind of like do my own rendition of it, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hit any of these crazy high notes. I got it in a different key that's good for me.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I am a little nervous about is I don't know about the echo in the stadium. I'm a little
Echoes,
worried about the
they'll
echo.
mess you up big time, right?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the echo. I don't know if I'm going to have in-ears. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
going to have a monitor. I don't know what I'm going to be hearing, but it's out of my control. Control the controllables is what I say.
Can you
Well,
talk to anyone who's done it before there?
I don't know anybody
I know, I don't
personally that's
either.
done it, right?
I
Do
know
we
the
know anybody
Blues.
personally that's done it? The Blues guy,
The
yeah.
Blues guys, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know personally
It's
anybody
probably
that's
different.
I think they usually
Is
have
this-
like real actual qualifications to do it. So I'm like the first person they've brought in off the street to
Will this be the largest crowd?
This will be the largest crowd that's actively listening and watching me. I mean, that seats 22,000 people. So, I mean, that's what I'm a little nervous about, right? And it's because it's like not really a song by choice that I'd like love to perform.
How much-
It's very hard to sing.
I think
It is a hard song to
Alex,
sing.
Having heard your music, I bet you would crush "Oh Canada."
You think?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that song
song's
just
a banger.
Oh, it.
People
abso-
say
it
that one
slaps
is
so
way
hard.
better than the than ours.
It's true.
You think?
I look.
Ours is just very
God bless
difficult to
America. I
sing.
love us. We're great, right? That national anthem. Oh my God, does it slap?
Does
It's
Canada
so
have a
good.
soccer team? I don't know if they. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
got a soccer team.
Do they? Are they in the MLS?
Yeah, Vancouver Whitecaps.
They're okay. So okay,
There's
well,
a Toronto team too.
I
right?
guess the petition is, if City wins tomorrow night with me singing the anthem. These guys are very, very, they're all about the superstition.
Yeah.
So if they win,
you get to sing again.
Lord knows they might have me back, week
What-
after week.
That
You
is
know,
absolutely
what if
true.
you sang the Canadian national anthem even without a Canadian team playing?
What if I just, instead of singing the actual national anthem, just went out tomorrow and surprised everybody and just went right into the Canadian national anthem.
Or you could be like, I know I'm here to sing the national anthem, but I'm going to play an original.
And you know what I mean? You should start with "Oh Canada."
I wrote a song for St. Louis City. Here it is.
And watch all the St. Louisans look at each other and go, "Is Omaha in Canada?" Because nobody knows where Omaha is.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Omaha kind of sounds like it could be
Anywhere.
in Ontario, Omaha, Ontario.
It actually could be anywhere in the world, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
We should start telling people it is. Tomorrow, I'm going to start it.
I
I'm gonna
will.
start this.
I owe Ranj $4, but I will give you that $4 if you start with the Canadian national
Wouldn't that
anthem.
be something?
You can give him my $4 if he does it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's worth more than $4.
No,
I think that video would take off
What would
quickly
happen?
online.
What do you think? You get arrested? What do you think would
I
happen?
think you might get arrested
He's
afterwards.
not going to get arrested for that.
Well, I mean, is it against the law to kind of butcher
No.
the national anthem?
No.
You know?
I think
No.
it's against the law to
It could be.
mock it and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
not mocking it.
You're not. Well, maybe. I mean, you can burn a flag.
You're like, don't burn the flag at the city game tomorrow.
No.
I'm saying I think that's legal.
Well,
I
unless
just
it's an
wanna be-
Omaha flag. Omaha, Canada flag.
He brings out his guitar and then he's got a little bag
That's
with him and
not
he gets
what
out
I
a
meant.
flag
I
and a
meant,
lighter.
Like First Amendment
God.
rights. That you
You got
that
a protester
they
doing the
could
national
kick,
anthem.
They could kick you out, but I don't think you could go to jail. But I do think you would probably be banned from City Energizer Park.
Well, since the
life.
city games are broadcast on Y98, it's probably not a great association for me to personally have. But, you know, I will say the whole thing is quite not necessarily surprising, but I think, you know, flattering and humbling in a
Yeah.
way that they're like, they trust me to do it.
It's awesome. I mean, Alex, it's awesome. You're going to be playing not just in front of 22,000 people, but that park is sick.
It's sick.
Energizer
I am
Park is
super
sick.
excited about it, but I would be lying if I said I was not nervous. Like I am super, super nervous about the
You're
whole
gonna do
thing
great.
because, you know,
Well,
all
you-
those people that are watching.
Are you wearing a city jersey or what are you going
that
to
was
wear?
the other thing. They were very specific on what I can and cannot wear.
Really?
So literally the forum said no Nikes because MLS is Adidas. So I can't wear, you know, I got
wow.
my flashy J's all the time
you
that
can't
I'm
wear
wearing. I
that.
can't wear them. So
Do you
I
have
had to
Can
any
you
Adidas?
explain to
I
the
went and got myself
KMOX
a new-
audience what a flashy J is?
a flashy J.
Oh,
But
the
we're not
J
talking
ones?
about we're not talking about the cannabis J. We're talking
Oh.
about the
J1,
the
Jordans.
Jordan ones,
Yeah.
the
Oh, the
Jordans,
Jordans.
the
Okay.
high top Jordans.
Those look good.
Yeah, I rock them quite often.
So they said no Nike.
No Nike. So I went and bought myself a fresh new pair of white On Clouds. They're great. You're a runner. You know the On Clouds are great. But Adidas,
I wear Nike.
Adidas isn't really necessarily my style. They said no sponsors, no
Yeah.
no flashy, you know, crazy anything. They said no Cardinal jersey, no Blues jersey.
Really?
No, there's a rivalry
No
now.
Battlehawks jersey.
What?
No Battlehawks.
So they really the easiest way to get to it, they could have just said, you know, must wear a city jersey.
Do
a city
most
kit.
do most
My
of
bad.
them wear a kit?
I think so.
Can you wear
I
the
was
whole
kinda
thing with
hoping-
shin pants?
Could you wear, like, if you wanted to wear the high socks and shin guards?
Can you? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If somebody from City's listening and they get me the whole getup, I would do it.
You would come out there in the entire
Shorts.
kit.
I'd
Socks.
maybe even throw on the shin guards.
That's what I said. You would do the shin guards.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a personalized jersey, now that's what I was hoping for. Like, at least throw me a personalized jersey or something. I
Yeah.
think that'd
I
be
don't.
like
I don't know
fair.
if they have any because
I think they're stingy. Tell
yeah,
them
they're
what happened
stingy.
to
When
us.
when
What
we
happened,
were
Ron?
when the team came into town for right before their first game, our boss brought in a couple of jerseys into the studio
For us.
to Amy and me and said, "Hey, try these on." And we did, and then he goes, "All right, I need them back. I got to take them down the
Sam,
hall."
dude, he
Like,
did
what the
it-
hell? What are we just
He did the
passing?
same thing to me. He said,
What?
"Hey, if you don't mind, take a picture with this and then pass it to the next person."
Can you believe this?
I'm like, what world are we living
There
in?
should be city jerseys
What is this,
laying over chairs
communism?
in this office.
It
Yeah.
seems like it,
This
really.
is some communism nonsense. Well, I think you should wear the entire kit with the shin pads
Now we're on to something.
and
I like
start with Oki.
You know, that might distract people enough so much that they don't even listen to me sing the national anthem, which is maybe ideal. But, you know,
No, I want to listen to it.
yeah, that'd be great,
Wow.
wouldn't it?
You want to tell us about the podcast? How's
Yeah,
it going? Jews in the Lou with
it-
Ben Paremba.
It's great. Ben's a great guy. Ben owns a lot of local restaurants here
Like
in
a
St.
lot of
Louis.
local
a lot
restaurants.
of a lot of them. He's owned a lot. He's closed a lot. He's opened a lot. He'll tell you that himself. But Jews in the Lou, it's great. We kind of came together. We actually met, you know, just about a year ago and wanted to do something fun around the Hanukkah time of the year where it was different, a different way to celebrate and really draw some attention on the good light that there is with the Jewish folks in St. Louis that are making a difference here in town. And so we got together and we said, let's do a little like conversation. So we meet at the Deli Divine, and it's
always there, right?
Well, except for the one we just did with R&R Ranch, we felt like the miniature horses felt that felt deserving of us to be on site for them.
Yeah.
I don't know that the deli, we can't bring the horses into the deli, but
can't bring Tubby into the deli.
No, but it's been cool. It's we sit down, have a little bit of a conversation with different people, and it's totally unscripted. Like the cameras roll. We don't even tell the guest when we're going, and we just get in a conversation and start chatting, and you really learn some cool stories about the people that make a difference, or people that have converted to Judaism, like Tamara from Clementines. She talks about her story, how she converted, what Judaism means to her. And really, you learn a lot of unique stories about why people started what they're doing. So like the R&R Ranch folks, Stacy's whole story was it was built off of the Jewish principles of just having each other's back and sticking together, because I mean, the reality is like, and it's hard for people that aren't Jewish and can't really fully understand. But if you're part of like a certain community, you get it. It's just a culture around you where you just automatically have each other's backs. And I think that's the platform we want to create. It's not at all a political platform where we want to express political opinions or anything like that, but more of just the conversation of the backstory of, how these people were raised, their stories growing up. And it's cool because, in the Jewish religion, there's not really one specific, I know in a lot of religions, there's not really one specific path, but there's so many different types of Jewish people. You got your Orthodox, Reform, conservative. But I think as a whole, it all boils back down to the culture. And so we've brought this to camera and video and YouTube and Instagram. And, the response has been great. We've had, of course, in doing what we're doing in the state that we're in, we've had some hate and some lashback and things like that. And that's why I like to say, look, I'm not a person that's going to be out here talking politics one way or the other when it comes to religion or actual politics, whatever. But it's more, hey, this is something we just want to do to showcase our religion because it's important to us. And it's really been great. And Ben and I have this, kind of an older, younger brother duo thing kind of going in it, and it works well. The guests have a great time. You asked what the qualifications were, to be on Jews in the Lou. Really, if you're Jewish and you're, I guess, making a difference, or really what we like to say is a mover and shaker in St. Louis, or doing something impactful.
I am at least 6% Jewish.
I count? We're not that far down the list yet. We're not struggling.
They're not
Let me know.
scraping the bottom of the
let me know.
barrel, Ron.
Let me know when you're looking for a little
Reardon
Jewish
had
blood.
the same pitch for me. He's like, dude, I'm 3% Jewish. I did the whole 23andMe, and I'm like, dude, we don't, even if you were full Jewish, we wouldn't want but, you know what I mean?
Guys, I'll do it for you. No, Mark, we're good.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. People have reached out. I mean, a lot of people have reached out to be a part of this, because I think it's cool. You just hear so many different stories. We've had, Josh Schertz, SLU's basketball coach.
Oh, yeah.
He is Jewish. A lot of people didn't know that. And, typically Jewish people aren't the tallest people. So basketball is not really where we I think hang out a lot.
Every single one of his players is taller than him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We've had, Scott Rosenblum, defense attorney here in St. Louis. We had him on. We've had Tamara Keefe from Clementines. We're all over the board. Ben Hockman actually came on.
Yeah.
Ben's a great guy. And
he's got his own sandwich at Pratzels.
he does have his own sandwich at Pratzels.
Like
so
the highest
when we had him in, he was kind of
reward.
propositioning for a sandwich at Deli Divine. So,
you can't have a sandwich at two places.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Do you think you draw the line?
Yeah, you got to pick your place.
Yeah, you can't. Menus are not unlimited. There's a finite amount of sandwiches you can have.
If you
so you
Do
can't
have a
take
sandwich?
I'm working on a sandwich. I did have a sandwich with High Point last year. It was called the Checking In Chicken Melt because I'm always checking in.
You are.
You checked in here.
Yeah,
You do. You're like,
I
I'm
did.
here. I'm checking in.
Yeah, it was like a fried chicken with some bacon, some Swiss, some coleslaw. It was delicious. I mean, I'm telling you, it was when you could build a sandwich, it's a lot of pressure. What would you guys have on your own sandwiches?
I don't. I need to think about it.
It takes time.
I'd have to think about
I
it.
Mine would
Amy's
be-
got a sandwich on mine.
Mine would be like turkey based for sure.
Honestly,
Like it'd be like turkey and pickles and cucumber. It would be like all the condiments.
Mm.
Every condiment that exists on top of turkey, which is a pretty neutral base.
I feel like turkey is a very neutral
Yes.
base because even if you kind of don't eat meat, some of those times that you kind of eat meat, you maybe eat turkey.
Don't like turkey sandwiches.
What?
Tell you what, I would have pastrami on mine.
Pastrami's great.
But that's less neutral.
Let me tell you,
turkey.
Jews in the Lou, we love pastrami
Aw.
sandwich.
Dude, maybe I'm more than 6%.
You know what? We'll just have you in. We'll just have you in to watch Jews in the Lou.
Okay, I'll come in.
That's fair.
All right.
Okay.
Alex
The
Rich.
Gentile audience.
The Gentile audience.
I don't think I'm supposed to say good luck. I'm supposed to tell you to hurt yourself or something.
Break a
right?
leg or whatever.
Yeah, I hope you trip on the way out.
6:55. The national anthem goes down tomorrow night.
Alex Rich will have it on the field before the City SC game against Omaha.
I'll
Have
be
fun.
in full kit.
You promised. You promised. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone, call them, say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, tell us a little something about the history of the Audiology Center.
At the Audiology Center, we care about our patients. They are like our family. For us, we want everyone to feel comfortable and confident in their choice to work with us. We ensure best practices for our patients, which include real ear measurements and testing to ensure the best possible outcomes for everyone with their hearing aids. Dr. Fahn started the Audiology Center in 1982, and I purchased the practice in 2017. Dr. Adam Voss joined us about a year ago, and we all want to use our educational backgrounds and our passion for hearing care to help everyone reconnect to their loved ones. We have been around for 43 years, and we want to earn your trust in your hearing care needs. We have 3 locations. Call us at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores. Hey, do we have time for the egg beat?
Oh, we're doing the egg beat.
Yeah. So, bad news. Backyard poultry is linked to salmonella outbreak in 6 states, according to the CDC. It's triggered a salmonella outbreak in states like Missouri, Illinois, and others. Of course, the symptoms of salmonella poisoning, I guess you would call it, like diarrhea, vomiting, sickness. And I was like, what do you mean backyard poultry? I thought maybe that was the brand. No, it's people who have chickens in their backyards. Apparently, as chicken rentals rise in popularity, as egg prices soar, there are couples and people who are renting out chickens. You can rent a chicken.
Why do you want to rent a chicken?
Well, because eggs are expensive. It's rentthechicken.com.
It's more expensive to rent the chicken. I guarantee you, in the end, it's more expensive to rent the chicken than to buy the eggs.
It's $545 to rent 2 chickens for 7 months.
See? Are people spending $500 and almost $600 in 5 months on eggs?
I think families with teenage boys are, probably.
Did the chickens produce enough for that? It's like 1 egg a day, isn't it?
I don't know. How many eggs does it?
I don't...
Because if you have to get a multiple... Because 1 egg a day is not going to be enough.
It seems like a giant waste of money.
Well, now people have salmonella.
Well, we have coming up here, and we appreciate you listening into the show today. And you can always check in with us whenever you want at 314-436-7900. A new book is out. It's called Play Harder, The Triumph of Black Baseball in America. And... we have a professor of African and African American Studies at Wash U joining us. He's the author of the book, Gerald Early, next on KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. It might be time for you to go ahead and switch out your internet. It was amazing when the Pauley household brought in i3 Broadband. The speeds are so much faster. We're saving a few dollars. The service is fantastic. I never have to worry, a storm is coming in. I wonder if my internet's going to go out. They've got local service centers in St. Charles County and the Metro East. It is St. Louis people who are working for i3 Broadband. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Check them out, i3broadband.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It is 11 o'clock, sunshine downtown, 63 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney is visiting the White House today. The relationship between Canada and the United States has been strained due to President Trump's tariffs and his comments about making Canada the 51st state. Goldie Hyder, president and CEO of the Business Council of Canada, says the two countries must reach an agreement.
If the issue is of a trade deficit, which we can dispute whether there is or isn't one, but let's address what actually needs to be addressed and not morph all kinds of other issues to make this more complicated.
U.S. stocks sinking today as AI mania on Wall Street loses more steam and more companies scrub their forecasts for upcoming profits because of uncertainty created by Trump's tariffs. Toy maker Mattel says it's pausing its financial forecast for 2025 in part because of the evolving U.S. tariff landscape that's making it difficult to predict how much U.S. shoppers will spend over the holiday season. Ford says it's expected to take a $1.5 billion hit this year because of tariffs. Ford also canceling financial forecasts for the full year because of what they call tariff-related uncertainty. The Federal Reserve beginning a 2-day meeting and will announce its next move on interest rates tomorrow. Virtually no one expects them to do anything to the main rate, even though Trump has been advocating for cuts. What's the best tasting water in Missouri? According to a new contest, it's Waverly, about an hour east of Kansas City, population 1,200. Andy Bowman is with the Missouri Rural Water Association.
Looking at the score sheets, it was clarity with a nice finish was what the judges had said to us.
Yeah, water samples judged on clarity, bouquet, and taste.
It's hard to believe that sometimes we do get samples with some floaties, but it has no matter in the water whatsoever. The bouquet is the aroma, the smell. Sometimes water is chlorinated, disinfected.
After initially being canceled due to slashed federal funding, the Festival of Nations is back on as the International Institute announces they are in a place financially to make it work. VP David Gonzalez says they've had to make some budget cuts to pull the festival off.
We cut back significantly on marketing. We hope that, with social media and word of mouth and, this festival has been around for many years, that'll be sufficient.
He says there may also be fewer performances this year. Asked if the political climate could have an impact, Gonzalez says St. Louis takes pride in where members of its community originate from. The weather is sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network with more ways to watch your Cardinals this
A
season.
nice afternoon, sunshine mixing with clouds and warmer, high 72. Increasing clouds tonight, though 55. Clouds and a limited sun tomorrow. Watch out for an afternoon shower, high 72. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cardinals fans, new this season, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. Sign up at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com or stream FanDuel Sports Network through Prime Video with an add-on subscription. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more. Right now, it is 63 degrees with sunshine at 11:04. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is the third hour of our show. It is the final hour. We've got the Gas House Gang coming up at 12 with manager Ollie Marmol of the St. Louis Cardinals. He is with us for the first half of the show, taking your questions, taking questions from Bernie, Tom Ackerman, and me. So we hope you'll stick around for that show at 12 o'clock and Ollie Marmol. But we go to the guest line this morning because it was, 78 years ago last month that Jackie Robinson made his major league debut. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, actually less than a week ago, that a new book has come out. It is entitled Play Harder, The Triumph of Black Baseball in America. And the author of that book, also professor of African and African American Studies at Wash U, Gerald Early, is with us on KMOX. It is good to talk to you. How are you, Gerald?
I'm very good. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the book. And I know this is, it's not like you're new to something like this. You've been doing this a long time. You've consulted on some really great documentaries like Ken Burns Baseball and Jazz and so many that he's done. But what does this work in particular, how special is this one to you?
This one is particularly special because it was done in conjunction with the National Baseball Museum and Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. It's in connection with a new Black baseball exhibit that opened there last year. And this book is meant to accompany that. I was involved with being a consultant for that exhibit. So this book is particularly special to me because of my involvement with the exhibit.
Well, and as you mentioned, as you talk about in your book, baseball is so much more than just a sport, especially when it comes to the Black players in baseball. And no sport has been so connected to social change as baseball has been. So baseball and Black baseball players are a huge part of American history.
Yes, they are a huge part of American history. They're a huge part of Black American history because Black people invested so much in creating baseball teams and in creating baseball leagues. And they're the only sport that Black people developed to that extent of having several highly professional leagues. So it's the sport means a great deal historically to Black people, and Black people were very invested in it, in producing players and also producing fans for the sport.
You know, one of the I know it progress takes some time, and it took a long time to get Jackie Robinson into Major League Baseball, to get him, to have that debut with the Dodgers, and then all these great players that came after, and then the acknowledgement of the Negro League statistics, which they finally integrated with the Major League Baseball statistics. And I think most baseball fans were on board with that. How important was it that those statistics from the leagues with players who weren't allowed to play in the major leagues, how important was it for that finally to happen?
Oh, that was very important because finally it gave those players legitimacy and the quality of baseball they played. It was given legitimacy by being included with major league stats. And also Negro leagues themselves were finally given legitimacy because for so long it was thought they were dismissed as, Negro leagues. That really wasn't organized baseball. But now with the this recognition, now the Negro Leagues they're seen as the equivalent of white organized baseball. So all those things were just really important in showing that the Negro Leagues were really an achievement that all Americans should be proud of, that Black people played baseball so consistently and with so much fervor and commitment for as long as they did.
You know, when I was really young, like a teen, younger than maybe, 13, 14 years old, I read October 1964, David Halberstam's book about the Cardinals and the Yankees World Series. And I felt like I thought I was reading a baseball book as a kid, but it opened my eyes to the daily experiences of Black players in the major leagues, like as late as the 60s and 70s, which is not that long ago to be facing that much discrimination and racism. Does your book kind of explore those individuals and just the challenges that they faced on a daily basis?
Yes, the book goes up to today, really, and what Black players and Black fans of baseball are doing today. So yes, it does look at we do look at the Cardinals. The Cardinals were the 64 Cardinals. The Cardinals of the 1960s were a pretty revolutionary team in the number of Black players. It was a very diverse team. And so they really broke a lot of ground, but it was difficult because there was still segregation in the country into the 1960s. And there was still problems with people where they could stay and where they could eat. Even into the 1960s, people kind of think it was all over then, but it really wasn't. So that book, Halberstam's book, is a very good one, and I certainly would recommend people reading it along with my own.
Yeah, and the book we're talking about today is called Play Harder: The Triumph of Black Baseball in America. So does it... I know things are different now than they were in the 60s, certainly different than they were in the late 40s and into the 50s. Do you feel like enough progress has been made in terms of what we're talking about now?
Oh, I think progress has been made, but it's disappointing that there are not as many Black American players playing the game as there was, let's say, 30 years ago. And that's a little disconcerting that Black players, Black athletes seem alienated from the game or not as engaged with the game. To Major League Baseball's credit, they really are making serious efforts to try to re-engage young Black athletes, young Black kids to play baseball more now. The football and basketball are, of course, the big games for Black kids right now. And those games are kind of baked into Black culture, Black school culture, and so forth in a way that baseball isn't anymore. And that's really a shame because the game means so much historically to Black people. So I hope that their efforts will pay off and, we'll see more Black Americans playing the game in the years to come. It's increasing a little bit, but the hope is that there'll be a bigger increase and that there'll be a bigger increase in Black fans also engaging the game.
There is the Cardinals RBI program, which is a Major League Baseball initiative, and that was started years ago, but the Cardinals have their own, each team does. And RBI is the Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities program, which does try the outreach and to get kids in those communities to want to play the sport. What is the greatest challenge of getting young Black kids interested in baseball as opposed to some of the others, because it's almost like they like what they like. People like what they like, right? So how do you change their minds and introduce them to a new sport?
Well, it is true that people like what they like, but also it has something to do with the degree of exposure. If baseball is not played as much in Black schools, and they don't have organized teams in Black schools for baseball as much as they do with basketball and football, it's a matter of exposure. So if kids aren't exposed to it, if they aren't exposed to it with sandlot games, if they aren't exposed with it with traveling teams and so forth, then of course they never get to play it. And a kid may like baseball in some ways. How can a kid really judge if you're going to like baseball if you've never really had much of an opportunity to play it, and mostly what you've been exposed to is basketball and football, and those are the games that you tend to want to play. So it becomes a kind of circle, it becomes a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. You play what you've been exposed to. If you haven't been exposed to baseball very much, you won't play it. So I think the key is to expose kids to the game. And well, that isn't easy, but I think it certainly is possible to do that. After all, think about in the Dominican Republic, in Venezuela, in Puerto Rico, in Mexico, there are Black kids there who love the game and play the game. So I don't think it's the thing of, oh, well, they don't like the game. I think they would like the game if they were exposed to it more.
Was exposure always an issue, or has the ascendance of travel ball, for instance, just made the sport and other sports more unreachable for some kids?
Well, that's part of the exposure thing, is that it is unreachable for a lot of kids because of the expense. So it becomes more difficult for people from the lower end to be able to access it because of the expense. So yeah, that certainly plays. That's a good point. That certainly plays into it. That people from the lower end are going to go, one, with the sports that the people around them approve of and like, and two, they're going to avoid the sport that's going to cost them more money, or it's going to put them through more difficulties and more challenges to be able to play it. And so that once again gets to a matter of both exposure and access. And I think there's less of it for young Black kids with baseball than with other sports right now.
We are talking about your book, Play Harder, about the triumph of Black baseball in America. And I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but the recent game at Rickwood Field to honor the Negro Leagues, when Reggie Jackson was it Reggie Jackson who was talking?
Yeah, it was Reggie.
Yeah, who was talking with like A-Rod and Derek Jeter about the racism that he faced. It was such a poignant moment. I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that, on Rickwood Field, and as your book is subtitled, like the triumph of Black baseball in America, because I can't ever put myself in that position. I don't know how I would have not lost my mind or tried to fight somebody, in the face of what those players were hearing and dealing with. I think I would have lost my mind.
Well, I think that Black people have many challenges that they've had to deal with in this country. That they were able to succeed the way they succeeded in baseball is really the triumph, and that people ought to recognize it as an incredible achievement. The fact that there were obstacles, and the fact that there were hardships, and the fact that there were things that people had to overcome, even as recently as a player like Reggie Jackson talking about his particular experiences and the like. And Jackson talked about this even during the time when he was playing. It was a big cover story that he did about problems in baseball, particularly with management and so forth. That was a big cover story back in the 80s in Sports Illustrated. So the thing is that these sorts of things have been challenges for Black people, but Black people have managed to overcome them. And I think that's the important thing, is that the people didn't lose their minds, that Reggie Jackson didn't lose his mind, that those guys stayed with it and they committed themselves and they overcame. And because it was very important to them to achieve, not only for themselves, but for their people as well. And so I think that's an incredible story, is that people didn't break. Despite the pressures that they were under, they didn't break.
What is, as we look at baseball and the future of it, what would be your goal for the game?
My goal for the game would be for people to, for Black people to re-engage with it. I would like for Americans generally to re-engage with the game a little bit more than they are now. I think that football, collegiate and professional, has become a dominant sport here in the United States. And I'd like to see people re-engage more with baseball. Baseball is such a lovely game. It's a beautiful game to watch, and it means so much to the United States. It's the oldest team sport that we have. It's the sport that really has kept races apart, but it also brought races together. And sometimes bringing them together wasn't easy, but it happened. And in some ways, it became a path breaker for other sports and for other things that happen in our society. So what I like to see is just for Americans to rededicate themselves to following baseball and to supporting baseball, not only on the professional level, but also with kids and with seeing kids playing and so forth. I'd like to see that happen.
Well, baseball is very important in this town, and so I think they will embrace this book. It is called Play Harder, The Triumph of Black Baseball in America. Gerald Early is the professor of it, professor at Washington University. We appreciate it, and we thank you so much for this, and good luck with this book.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji with you. You can visit the show, 314-436-7900. Don't forget the Gas House Gang. We are going to talk Cardinals baseball at 12. Manager Ollie Marmol will be on the show for the first half at least. Going to answer our questions and yours on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Love Talk Radio? We want to hear from you. Help shape the future of your favorite shows right here in St. Louis. Tell us what you love, what you skip, and what you want more of, because your voice matters. You'll be helping us make better radio for you and the entire St. Louis community. It's easy to sign up, and selected panelists will receive a special gift as a thank you. Visit KMOX.com/feedback to join the conversation today. That's KMOX.com/feedback.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing free concerts to the metro area May 16th through the 19th. These family-friendly concerts will feature American airmen performing solos, duets, and small ensembles, showcasing patriotic music, classical selections, pop tunes, and more. Come see the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America May 16th through the 19th. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. After the back nine, enjoy our world-class dining and distilleries, shops and spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO at visitmo.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Any chance you're flying into Newark anytime soon, Amy?
No.
Any chance you're flying out of it? You don't want to do that either.
Uh-oh.
Because you might have some issues. You've probably heard of what's been happening at the Newark airport in New Jersey. In fact,
we talked about it yesterday.
I know you know.
Yeah.
And that whole thing is really, truly unbelievable.
It's getting worse. As more details come out about it, it is definitely getting worse.
Here's a detail that I did not hear until much later.
Okay.
This is a conversation. This is air traffic control speaking to a flight. And they are telling the flight basically that they have no idea where they are because the radar had gone down for about a minute and a half. And there was a story in the New York Post that it was something about a burnt wire or something happened, a shorted wire. And the radar went down for a while and communication went down for a little bit with all these planes in the sky. And air traffic control couldn't find them. And here's an exchange that happened with ATC and the pilot.
We lost our radar and it's not working correctly. Radar service terminates, squawk VFR, frequency change approved. If you want a Bravo clearance, you can just call the towers when you get closer.
Okay, I'll wait for that frequency from you, okay?
Okay, no, just squawk VFR, look up the tower frequencies, and we don't have a radar, so I don't know where you are.
We don't have a radar. I don't know where you are. Imagine here.
That's the air traffic controller.
Yes.
Talking to the pilot saying, we don't know where you are.
Of a commercial airline with people in it.
So they just circled. What in the world do you do? How do you circle if they don't know where you are? So what happened?
Well, they made it eventually because the radar did come back, but it was still spotty apparently. But this is.
What is going on?
They're understaffed. I know they moved their operation to Pennsylvania because they were understaffed. And that happened at some point last year. But there is an air traffic controller shortage in the country right now. They can't find enough people to do it.
This has to be. And again, we're taking politics out of it because this does not have something to do with the current administration or I guess the previous administration in the sense of they're just looking for workers. Because this is not part of DOGE cuts or anything like that. This was an issue that was building, correct? Correct.
There had been a problem before, yes.
Yes. So my question is, how long? Who knew that we were headed for the condition that we are now, where we're short on air traffic controllers, equipment's not working, a couple of aviation incidents so far? Like somebody had to know that things were thinning out, that we were splitting hairs when it came to landing all of these planes.
Certainly somebody had to, yes. And I don't know who that person is and who should be responsible for it.
People in the industry had to know. Pilots know. Pilots aren't dumb. They know what's going on.
Well, because and the air traffic controllers are getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And something like 20% of them walked off the job at Newark last week, which exacerbated the problem, which has made it worse because you're already understaffed. And then you have a bunch of them walk out because they're overworked. They are overstressed. They're probably underpaid as well. And that is a highly stressful job. Imagine all the pressure that is on your shoulders, knowing that you have to
make sure planes don't crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that if they do, because you said something wrong, you're literally responsible for a couple hundred deaths.
What if we all have bad days. You don't pay attention half the time. You'd be a terrible air traffic controller. They'd be like, pilot, coming in, over. And you'd be like, yeah, okay. And you would respond without listening because you get distracted by your phone.
I don't know, but I think that I have a difficulty getting distracted by my phone. And so sometimes I'm not listening to what you're saying. Okay. Did you like that?
No, nobody liked it, Ranj.
That's Amy Marks' course.
Parenting hacks. Tell them what they need to know.
Oh, bro, I saw this thing on TikTok.
Y'all, bro? What'd you see,
Bro, I saw this thing on TikTok. Parents were being solicited for their hacks. This happened a little bit ago, but it's too good. I want to get to it anyway. And parents were talking about the things they do to manipulate their children
Oh, my gosh.
into doing what they want them to do, which I think is kind of funny. And we will discuss some of them when we come back on KMOX.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 and schedule a custom income review at no charge. Or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is a beautiful 66 degrees and sunny in St. Louis. We're going to get a high today of 72. The Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company brings you the weather. PennMutual.com/STL. Are you considering life insurance? Well, Penn Mutual accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your crew to Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs. May 23rd to the 25th, catch great promotions all weekend long, including a Mason Win bobblehead and a Kid City Connect jersey giveaway. Kick off your summer with ballpark hot dogs, ice-cold beers, and entertainment for the whole family. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com. This is how summer is meant to be. See you at the ballpark.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Hey parents, looking for something fun and unforgettable to do with the kids? Bring the whole family to a Cardinals game at Busch Stadium. From kid-friendly activities and giveaways to awesome promotions like Kids Run the Bases. Your little ones will have a blast, and so will you. Check out Family Sundays, presented by Smithfield, where select tickets include a free jumbo hot dog and soda. There's nothing like sharing the magic of Cardinals baseball together. Make your memories this summer at Busch Stadium. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims. And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Wednesday night, City SC begins U.S. Open Cup play as they face Omaha, Nebraska. And you can hear this game live. Pre-game 6:50, kick at 7. Wednesday night on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Pretty much everybody listening here, and I guess everyone with the exception of Amy and Pajeski and me.
That's
we don't
everyone
have to.
here.
Well, I mean, listening,
You
and
said
us.
pretty much everyone here.
Yeah.
Except for you, me.
Well, then
and
Frank. Frank's got kids.
He's not listening.
But he is. He just, he nodded in approval. But all of you with kids, I know this for a fact because I've seen it happen. You're manipulating them.
Well,
You manipulate your children to get them to do what you want them to do. Because
when you say it that way, it sounds malicious.
Yeah.
It's not manipulating. It's
Yes, it is.
strategies. It's parenting tactics.
It's called manipulation. It's a form of persuasion. And so
There
we
you go,
know,
a form of persuasion.
which is also manipulation. You get your kids to do things you want them to do or not want them to do. And you do that by manipulating them.
Okay.
And we get it.
Yeah,
we get
okay.
it, right? We would like to know, first of all, tell us a thing that you have done with one of your sons or daughters or all of them or their friends, whatever. And you thought it was a particularly good and clever way to get them to do what you want, even if you had to lie to them. So there was a person on TikTok who offered up a parental hack, is what she called it. And then so people started to offer theirs and things that they have done. And this has been seen by millions of people. And here is an example. This is a contribution from somebody named Marissa who says, my mom used to tell us she was allergic to loud noises. So when she was overstimulated, she would say she was having an allergic reaction. It worked until a doctor asked me if any allergies ran in the family. So you get your kids to shut up by telling them you have an allergy, and then when they are loud, your allergies act up, which I think is totally brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
Here's another one. And this is very niche, by the way, but I love it. Our parents told us that whining was illegal in Cape Cod. This is where we vacationed when I was a kid. And when we would hear sirens, they would say that meant someone must have been whining. And we believed them for years.
So specific.
It really is. We used to vacation in Cape Cod, and my parents said that there's a law in Cape Cod. You can't whine.
I love how they didn't just say that whining was illegal in Cape Cod, but that when sirens would go by, like, well,
must have been a whining child. Isn't that great? This one I think is just absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Whenever it's bedtime and the kids are still stuck to Netflix or something like that, I change the language to Greek or Polish and tell them they don't understand because they're too tired and it must be bedtime.
totally gaslighting.
It's so great because kids are dumb. They don't know any better.
Kids are morons.
Oh, my mom's allergic to loud noises.
Oh,
Oh, it's so great.
the changing it to Greek.
This one is really funny. This is
Okay.
from Sasha. She says, my mom hid all of my dolls and stuffed animals and said they ran away because my room was dirty. Then they sent a postcard from another kid's clean room. And when I cleaned my room, the dolls came back.
Oh, that's so.
Parents went and bought postcards and wrote, hey, I'm in another kid's room right now. They keep their room clean. I like it here. If you want me to come back, better clean your room. Like, how dumb do you have to be to believe that?
They're children.
Oh, you got to be pretty stupid to believe that.
And so, oh,
These poor kids.
I know.
Told the kids that this is from Elle. Told the kids that Santa / the Easter Bunny / the Tooth Fairy had to follow OSHA standards for workplace safety.
Yeah.
They would not come into the room if it was a mess because of tripping hazards.
What's funny is that the kid is young enough to believe that, but old enough to know what OSHA is.
Well, it's the occupational safety. That's they want to make sure that
Yeah.
everybody's workplace is safe.
Union household, probably. Most
so-
likely was a union household.
That's very likely. This is how they tricked their kids into helping them clean the house. Here's one. We did Cinderella Sundays. We cleaned all morning. Then they wore their princess dresses to our fancy candlelit dinner, followed by a dance party ball.
Whoa.
So the kids helped them clean the house because they thought it was part of a party.
But it ended up being part of a party.
Yeah, I guess they did reward them.
It was real. My mom, if we got in trouble, and I remember this so clearly, we were back in the back of the station wagon. I guess my sister and I had been grumbling and arguing. And so that's it. When you get home, you're both going to go in your rooms for 20 minutes. And if you don't remind me when I get home, you're going to have to sit there for twice as long. Because she knew she would forget. And we would always remind her. We're like, Mom, remember we have to sit for 20 minutes. And she would just say, because if you don't remind me, you're going to have to sit there twice as long.
I think this is a pretty common one. My parents did it to my friends and me when we had a sleepover for New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we didn't understand time zones because we were stupid. So the ball drops in New York at 11.
Yeah.
And the deal was we could stay up until the ball dropped till midnight. Then we had to go to bed.
But,
and of course it was 11 p.m.
Yeah.
because we didn't understand that New York was an hour ahead. But they set all the clocks ahead.
Matt, were you ever gaslit?
Yeah, my dad would say whenever the ice cream man drives by and he's playing a little song out of the van, that means he's out of ice cream.
He did not.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Did it work?
I don't know.
The music means he's out of ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Here's one. We have pet fish, and I told my kids that the fish are Santa's secret spies all year long to make sure they are behaving. When they get crazy, I whisper, the fish are watching. They love and they fear the spy fish.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, parents will say anything to get their kids to shut up and do what they want.
One
Is this how difficult it is to raise kids? That you have to lie to them?
It's way more difficult than that.
It sounds
it's
awful.
More difficult than you imagine. One parent said that he told his kids that Chuck E. Cheese was only open on your birthday.
I mean, how dumb do you have to be to believe that?
Well, it makes sense. You only go there for birthday parties, so it's only open, for birthday
Well,
parties.
Dad, how's this even a viable business plan? That means they're only open one day a year. That's the only
there are.
question you have to ask, kid. It's not that hard. My mom told me and my brothers that if we hid from her in the clothing racks at stores, the employees would take us and turn us into mannequins.
I have a friend. I think this one is terrible because it's traumatizing, but I have a friend and whenever her kids would like act up, they would just say, well, the man is going to come.
The man?
Yes.
Who does this?
My friend used to do that to her kids and say, well, I wouldn't do that. The man
The
is not
man?
going to like it. And they'd be like, no, don't tell the man.
That's scary.
I know, it's scary. And I was like, well, who is the man? She's like, well, we never
He's the one who's been
specified.
keeping us down.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. She goes, we never specified. It was just this vague, like, well, the man is going to come if you don't pick up your stuff. And I said, that is traumatizing. And she said, in retrospect, they probably shouldn't have done that.
It's terrible. For the rest of your life, you're worried about the man. You don't even know what the man is.
No, they didn't know. They didn't know what he was going to do, who he was. Just like, I wouldn't do that. The man is not going to like it.
Another submission to this TikTok. My daughter fights sleep like a Roman gladiator because she has chronic FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
So we brainstorm something fun to do in our dreams together. So she ends up in a hurry to meet dinosaurs or something.
Oh, that's
adorable.
a great idea.
Similar to the man, if my sister and I were acting up around November, December, near Christmas time, my mom wouldn't say anything. She'd just like start singing to herself, Santa Claus is coming.
That worked?
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, that's not, it is manipulation.
Yeah.
Because it's planting a little seed.
Yeah.
And that's not bad.
I might lose out on some toys.
That's
get Cole.
I really like that. This one says, when my daughter was little, she wanted to say swear words. So we told her swear words are for adults, but she can make up her own for kids. She chose Stuart. This traffic is a real Stuart.
Actually, really amazing.
That was pretty adorable.
I might steal that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Is this really what y'all are doing with your kids?
Did you see the one about the veggies?
About the broccoli and all that?
Well, I told my kids that veggies were grown-up food.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put some on my plate, my husband's plate, and I would say, okay, this food is just for grown-ups, but babies can't have any.
Oh my
and then their
God.
kids would say, I'm not a baby. And like, well, yeah, you are. You can't have any. You're not old enough. And then they would say, I'm not a baby. And then she would say, okay, and then put the veggies on their plates.
That is so brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my God, I love that. If I ever have a child, which probably not going to happen, but if I did, that's what I would do, because it's the it's the scarcity and it's the I can't have it that makes you really want it. Great call, kids.
This mom said her kids were afraid to get vaccinated, so she told them the whole time that getting a shot in your eyeball was the most effective way to get vaccinated. So when the nurse said, we can give you a shot in the arm, the kids were relieved. Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
Oh my God.
That's terrible.
That is really awful. Oh my. All right. Let us know if you do that with your children. Give us some of your submissions. 314-436-7900. Text them into the show. You can call in if you want to do that, or super easy, get the Odyssey app, which is the thing that you use to listen to the show on your phone. And from the app, you can send us a message. It's really easy. It's a voice message. You record it and send it over, and maybe we will play it here. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've asked you for some of your submissions and how you have manipulated your children into doing what you want them to do. This texter to 314-436-7900 says, this is an old classic. You wrap empty boxes at Christmas time and you throw them in the fireplace when the kids act up. I've never heard of that.
What?
Yeah.
That's so cruel.
So the kids act up, you walk over to the tree, you take one of the presents and go, well, throw it in the fire.
That's terrible.
I think that is brilliant.
No, it's awful. My gosh. This lady said when her daughter was a toddler, she told her that Target was a store that had a toy museum. So you could buy clothing and household supplies and groceries, but the toys are not for sale. It's a toy museum to keep kids busy while their parents shop. It works like a charm.
Come on,
she
dude.
asks if we can still visit the toy museum.
Is that one from the Parental Hack story?
This is from a BuzzFeed parental
That's from a
hack
BuzzFeed?
story. Yep.
Oh, my God. I kind of like that one. I guess you just have to do whatever you have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
This one from, I believe this is from John in Dallas, says, this is a little off topic, but the older neighbor kid who used to give me rides to school in the morning would tell me that stop signs with the white outlines around them meant they were optional.
I've heard that one from my dad.
You have?
Yeah. Because they're all, I mean, obviously they're all outlined in white, but
Yeah.
my dad said that as a joke. I mean, he didn't want me doing that, obviously, but he said as a joke to me. Yeah.
That's a dangerous joke.
Yeah.
Was it because you would see him roll through it and then think, Dad, you're supposed to stop?
No, I don't think you really notice that they are all outlined
Yeah.
in white. So you notice the first one, you're like, huh, I guess this is a different one.
That's funny.
I don't know.
This is
I just read one.
okay, I'll do this one. When it was a beautiful weekend day, the kids were all inside playing video games or watching TV. So I would walk outside and turn off the circuit breaker to the entire house. They thought we had a power outage and they would magically go outside and start playing. We finally told them we were doing this when they were in their 20s.
Good. I wonder how they reacted to it. That's really
That's
good stuff.
commitment to the bit,
Yes.
though, because the parents don't have electricity either.
I like this one a lot.
Okay.
It's pretty harmless, but I love the manipulation of this one. This was a submission to that TikTok we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And this is from Jan, who says, when my friends' teens acted up, instead of grounding them, the mom would ground herself. For example, she would say, I'm sorry, I would love to drive you to the mall, but unfortunately, I'm grounded.
That's pretty good. That's amazing. I'm grounded.
I need to know if kids are really this difficult that you have to do this.
This woman said when her
Please let me know.
When her children were young, she didn't want to have to clean up ketchup, mustard, and ranch and stuff from the car seats and from the cars when they went through the drive-through. So when they would go through to a fast food place, she told them that condiments were for dine-in customers only.
Oh.
So she didn't have to clean everything up.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That is really fun.
Yeah, no, kids are
Please
they are wonderful and they're more difficult than you're imagining.
send me a text message. Sell kids to me. I don't mean like sell me kids. Sell me the idea of children. I want you to tell me that it's not as bad as what these are suggesting. These submissions are suggesting to me that they are so difficult you have to make up outlandish things.
This is from someone who was gaslit as a kid. It said, I was on a flight where a kid saw the button for calling a flight attendant. I didn't know what it was, but I was thinking about pressing it. So I asked his dad what it did. And the dad said, it opens a trapdoor under your seat and drops you from the bottom of the plane.
Oh, no. Why would you do
so
that?
that we wouldn't press the flight attendant button.
We have Robert, who is watching us on YouTube and says, well, this show has been a real steward. That's not nice.
That's not nice.
Robert.
Well,
Why would you say something like that?
I think the parenting hacks are pretty funny.
I love this very much.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and let me know. Maybe I'm wrong about kids. Maybe they are a whole lot of fun, and you don't have to make up all these outrageous lies to get them to behave.
Well, I don't know. Oh, hey, I did have a quick house.
Speaking of behave,
Oh, yeah.
earlier when we were talking about turns of phrase or words that people use wrong and it annoys us, the same Robert said that "are you being haved" is some sort of version of behave.
Oh, that's the one
it bothers
he doesn't
him.
like. Yeah.
Yes, it bothers
Well, 'cause
him.
it's not
I've never
real.
heard that before. Are you
I
being
haven't,
haved?
I haven't either. Hey, quick question.
It's "are you behaving?"
People listening, you said Ali Marmal, you'll have him on.
Yeah, he's
They
coming
can
up in
see
a few
comments.
minutes.
Where do people comment on that?
Oh.
If they have questions for the manager.
Oh, yeah. So YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Find us at KMOX Sports. If you go to YouTube and just, search Gas House Gang, you'll find it. You'll find the show. And you can comment right there. We will get to your questions. You can text your questions for the manager at 314-436-7900. Voice messages to the manager, Ali Marmol, directly from the Odyssey app. Go ahead and record them and send them over, and we will try to get to as many as we can. Ali Marmol joins the Gas House Gang next, but Chris and Amy, we will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll start the show again ahead of Cardinals baseball, today game tomorrow. So anything you missed is on the Odyssey app. Chris and Amy tomorrow at 9. The Gas House Gang, Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, and manager Oliver Marmol next.